Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Right, so what is going on with Duse at the moment?
He is in deep shed again. Looks rather menacing when he's like that, doesn't he? He has moved. So while he's in shed, and there's not much else we can talk about with Duse, I thought it's about time going through all of, you can see reflections, there we are, hello, his little setup. So we can talk through what size vivs we've got, top and bottom, what heating we've got, what lighting we've got, and what thermostat system we have. It's all pretty simple, really. What have we got up top? Shall we start with the biggest equipment? So vivariums, shall we start with them? So monk filled vivariums, and the upper one is the 4 foot by 2 foot by 2, and the lower one is their 6 foot one, 6 foot by 2 foot by 2. And I thought it'd be fun to join the two, so I literally just bolted the top one to the bottom one, drilled and cut out a hole through the bottom and then obviously through the top of the other one there, which you can sort of just about see poking through. And then I did add some brackets on the sides to secure it there and behind, and brackets on the other side just so that there's no chance of it moving. Then I cable tied some cork bark, as you can see, around the rim, just to give Duse some sort of purchase when he's climbing up and down, and then cable tied the upper bits of cork bark. Most importantly, actually, with those cable ties, I made sure I got rid of the sharp edges. So I filed off the edges, cut them down really smooth, so there's no chance of him cutting when he's pulling himself down and up. And then that bit of cork bark goes down the bottom there. Right, so that's the vivariums covered. So say monk-filled vivariums. There's loads of different vivariums out there, I know, but they're the ones I chose. They're the ones I happen to have in stock where I used to work, and they've been absolutely fine. Silicone sealed the edges, as I would recommend, because you don't want to get any moisture or waste seeping into the wood, because it will bow. I've had this corner, unfortunately, you can just sort of see the wood is bowing and moves a little bit down there where it's got wet. That was actually very early doors when I was getting a lot of moisture building up inside, and it managed to get into the wood, but it hasn't got any worse. It's fine. But yeah, silicone seal up all the corners is a must. An ever-growing water bowl. I keep adding bigger size bowls. I did try putting a large plastic container in there, but it didn't fit. So he's onto that, which is a cat litter tray, extra large cat litter tray. And I am so sorry for the reflections. All you can see is my garage heater and all of my chemicals and bottles of stuff for working on the car and the motorcycle, which is not ideal, is it? That's not what this video is all about. Equipment-wise, deep heat projector, 80 watt deep heat projector, which is up there. And if I open up this glass, we go in, and we won't get so many reflections. If we can see it, there it is. So 80 watt deep heat projector, protected with a cage. That has got an Arcadia fitting to support it above. Actually, do you know what? I can show you precisely what those bits are, because I've got spare ones. So we've got an Arcadia lamp holder and bracket, 250 watt. There we are. That is the kiddie. That is exactly what we have inside the vivarium, providing the heat source, or powering the heat source. And then the actual bulb, I say bulb, deep heat projector, is one of these. That's exactly it, 80 watt deep heat projector. And I've had now 4 years out of that one, and it's still going strong. But I've got spares in case either one failed on me at a crucial time, so that I can quickly whip that out and put a new one in if I should have to. Wedges, spare wedges there for the glass. You never know when you might need a spare wedge. Make sure you secure the glass so Duse can't get out. Right, let's put those bits back in there. So that is that, that is that. What else, equipment-wise, do I have? Right, the thermostat. That would be a good one to talk about, wouldn't it? I need to dig it out. And then the lighting. And look, I can actually bring out a piece of lighting. I can tell you exactly what I've got in there, which is an Arcadia Pro T5 UVB kit. And that is what is glowing down on top of us as we speak. There is only the one in there, because that is the other light above us in the garage. So there's just the one there. And the light tube, that's probably the original tube, which I'm no longer using. I've gone for something else to dig out, because I can't remember everything. Array of tubs for working on the aquarium, and then a array of water dishes. So that's what Duse used to be in. That's what he then moved up to, and then that's what he's got now. But that's now what I defrost his food in, isn't it? Let's not forget that I've got that open. The bulbs are in here, and if I try and drag one out for you, the current bulbs is that one. 39 watt Forest D3 6% UVB. That is what Duse has. Used to have the desert one. I think that says desert on it, does it? 39 watt. What's the UV percentage on that one? Where is it? 12% UVB. So a little bit too much, really. And he could move away from it. He could go down into his low viv. But yeah, that is what we're talking about. So, have we covered most things? Let's have a little recap. So we know what his vivariums are. Monkfield vivariums. We know about the deep heat projector, 80 watt, with an Arcadia holder to power it. The lighting there. Cork bark water dish. We've got the bark chips. I've gone for slightly chunkier ones because it's only in the bottom, and I primarily try not to feed him down there so he doesn't end up ingesting this. Hopefully just feed from the top viv. Right, that is it in a nutshell. I've just had a quick little recap of what I was doing with the video. You know how sometimes you're in the mood to do something and other times you absolutely can't face it. And tonight I'm in a good mood. It's a bit of a rarity sometimes. And anyway, I'm going to dig out. We'll try to show you what thermostat I've got on here. And considering that's probably one of the most important things to discuss, because that helps to regulate the temperature in Duse's viv. Dig out all these bits and pieces. The stuff you acquire over just a few years. And this is going to require two hands. So putting you down for one moment. Talk amongst yourselves. There we have it, guys. So that is the digital dimming thermostat that I've installed, Habistat. And what size one was that? What specifically? So that is that. Saying that down there. There you go. Telling you everything it is. This one, I'm sure it says it's somewhere here. Digital dimming thermostat. That's exactly what I said at the front, wasn't it? So this is a dimming one. There are many with different functions. Best doing your research so you get the correct one, as it says they're suitable for certain types of heat sources. Not all thermostats are suitable for all heat sources, so it's worth doing your research, finding out what type of thermostat you need for what type of heat source you need to provide for your given reptile. But for Duse and for a deep heat projector, this works absolutely perfectly. Right, guys, the thermostat comprises of the digital readout, the part that you can actually set what you want it to be at. So we'll go into that in a second. So I've got it plugged in there. That's the main power supply to the unit. And the unit goes on the wall there. And you can plug in your two appliances. So one of them is the heater. One of them is the lighting. And then through this, it comes to this part. And this is then where you can set what temperature you want your heater to be maintaining. So I've got it set to 28 degrees Celsius. You can see the heat is flashing and it's only on 3% because the heat is currently 28 degrees in there. That's what the probe is reading, 28 degrees. It's set to 28, so you can see it's only giving out 3% of power, probably cut out in a minute. There's the current time I've got it set to, so you can set the time for the device. And down the bottom here, 8 till 2000 hours, so 8 till 8 is the daytime lighting period that I've currently got set. So 12 hours of light, 12 hours of night. Now, if I hold down the set button, hold it down, you should start to see things flash. There we go. So now it's flashing what temperature I want it set to, and I can just go up or down to set that. Click this again, and it's saying nighttime temperature, which I've got set equally the same. You could do a reduced temperature at night, should need to depending on what reptiles you're keeping, but I keep it same temperature day and night for Duse. Come down. That's the temperature difference for the alarm. So what does it actually say there? Over temperature alarm. So if it goes 5 degrees over what I've set it to, it will start beeping at me just to warn me that it might be getting a bit toasty in there, which it has done on hot days. Just as a, so if you leave it for too long, it'll go back to standard. So let's push that button down again. There we go, so that's the temperature flashing. That's the nighttime temperature flashing. That's the alarm difference. Then we go on to, there we go, there's the day from time. Click, click, click. And then it's got timer 1. So you can do multiple times for the lighting to come on and off. Timer 2 I've ignored because there's no need. And then we come around to the clock. We can adjust the clock again, up and down, nice and simple. Click it again. Job done. Actually quite simple to use, which is really good, really quite intuitive. That is that. Something else, guys, that I literally just thought about adding on to this is that with this block, which is obviously the main part of the thermostat, and you've got your, what have I got marked up there, heat, and then I've got the plug down here for lighting. It's specifically marked on the device which one you put your heat plug in and which one you put your lighting in, because if you put them in the wrong way around, when it comes to doing this, it's not going to make sense. So make sure you get those round the right way when you set your thermostats up. Spare tubs, spare containers. It's always handy having a tub or two, just in case you have to house your reptile temporarily. I think I've covered most things, do you know? I don't think there's much else to talk about. Oh, talking of digital thermostat, and Duse's light has just gone off. He's listening to what we're doing, feeling the vibrations, I'm sure. Sorry, Duse, didn't mean to wake you up, bud. Right, I'm going to get all this put away. It's a goodbye from Duse. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.